Hi, good day everybody. How are you? My name is Attorney Charles Zavala from Zavala Texas Law. I'm an immigration lawyer here in beautiful Houston, Texas. We handle immigration cases, criminal cases, as well as business cases. Today's going to be a video regarding a little bit about business, a little bit about immigration. So if you happen to like our videos, feel free to like. You can subscribe. We always kind of do informative videos, mostly about immigration. But we're more than happy to answer any questions y'all have. So if you have questions, submit them. We always like to answer those. But today's video is going to be what's a visa that I think is very, very important if you qualify, right? And it's very unique. Now, it's not for everybody, but whatever. I'll give you the review. So it's called an E2, E like the elephant, and then number 2. E2 visa. Most often it's called an entrepreneur visa or an investor visa. And what this visa does is it allows a person from another country to come to the USA on this E2 visa, and they're allowed to start a business, open a business, run a business. It has to be their business, but they're allowed to operate it, and during the meantime, they get to live in the USA. So you could see why it's called an entrepreneur or investor visa. It's for people who are investing their money into an American business. They're either buying it, they're starting it, and the USA allows them to be here during the operation of the business. So that's the general overview. This video, I'm going to talk about a little bit more detail about every single little piece of the step, because ultimately what we want to do is, I think it's a great visa. I think at this point now, what are we, in 2022? The world is no longer so much divided by countries. Now that we have all sorts of telecommunications, it's more of a global commerce. So at any point, if we can bring minds from another country to the USA, I think that's fantastic. I think that's great for the USA, and I think it's great for the immigrant that's coming as well. Okay, so this is a visa E2. So I apologize if I lose y'all on any of this, because sometimes I just kind of like to talk like it's a conversation, not so much like I'm informing you. But step 1 is this: you have to be part of one of the countries that's on this list. Not every country is on it. Okay, that's very, very important. You have to make sure your country's on it. I don't want to say the majority of countries are on it, but a good amount of countries are, a good amount of recognizable countries. So that's step 1. You have to look at, hey, where are you a citizen of, and make sure your country qualifies. That's number 1, right? Number 2 is this. This is a conversation I have with a lot of my clients. This visa allows you to either purchase a business in the USA or create your own. Right? There's some people who say, hey, you know what, I'll just buy one. They've already got the proof of concept going. I can see their financials, I can see their books. I'll just buy it and I'll maintain it. Hey, you know what? That's great. That's actually probably a very good option, because starting up a business is a lot of work. So sometimes, that is an option. So you could buy a business, and there's online brokers. We can help you, guide you in that direction of places where you could potentially find businesses that qualify for the E2 visa, because not all businesses qualify, right? That's another important conversation we need to have. So that's step 1, you buy a business. Option number 2 is you come to the USA and you start your business. So that's going to depend on what your industry is, what type of company it is. So there's some jobs that I have to buy all this office space, I have to buy this machinery, I have to have all the staff. There's others that say, you know what, I may not need that, but I'll need this other equivalent. I'll need trucks, or I'll need computers, data centers. Different businesses have different ways. But ultimately, those are the 2 things. You either acquire a business or you start a business, right? So what does that actually mean, though? Because the government's not going to say, all right, come to the USA, try it out, and then, it works. No, you need to get your visa before you come to the USA. So what does that mean? We always speak with all our clients to make sure that we have the information to advance with this type of case, but the government's going to want to know that your proof of concept, or the idea, or the company you're going to buy, or the company you're going to create is going to work. They want to make sure that this is a job that's going to make money for the government, right? Taxes, they want that stuff. 2, they also want to know this is going to create jobs. Are you going to potentially be able to hire other Americans to work? Hey, that's great. Or 3 is something we've kind of been using. It's kind of one of the, I don't want to say a trick, but sometimes if immigration says, look, your company that you're going to create is not going to create enough jobs, we usually have an argument to say, while it may not create jobs, what we do facilitates commerce, facilitates trade, facilitates services, which will create more jobs, will create more commerce, right? An example of one that we've been doing a lot is truck drivers. right? So there's been a huge COVID shortage for supply chain shortage for truck drivers. So we've been bringing over some truck drivers on E2 visas. But the government, there's always a little pushback, right? This is never an easy, you submit everything and everything gets approved. No, or else you wouldn't need to take all the steps we need to. But the government has pushed back at times, and they say, look, this is one person who's going to buy one truck, and down the road he may or may not get another truck, right? So you need to prove that you are going to be able to hire new people. So one argument is say, well, look, if business keeps on going well, we can rent another truck or buy another truck, and we have to put a driver in there. Or two, we say, well, yes, you're right, we may not be able to hire somebody. We are moving product that is allowing other people, other businesses to grow, right? So that's kind of one thing you have to consider. So, where was I going with that? But yes, you have to show that it's going to make money, or it's going to be I don't want to say profitable business, but it's not just a gimmick. You're going to hire citizens, or the potential plan is, or it's going to create commerce. So the question is, how do you do that? We are obviously going to recommend you to go to get a business plan. Either you could do it, you can work with us, we can hire someone who does professional business plans, and this is great because this is what we need to show immigration. We need to show immigration that we've thought this out, and this isn't just somebody who has enough money that they just want to try out this visa. No, we need to have the business plan, proof of concept. What is it? What type of business? What industry? What's it going to be doing? What sort of services? What's going to be your product? What are you going to charge? What's going to be your marketing, advertising, expenses? They want to know, right? You have to convince the USA that this is going to work. Kind of like if you go get a loan, how you have to go to a bank and you have to show them a business plan, right? We have to show them that. So that's going to be very important. So I definitely recommend we do that. We can definitely help you with that. We have people that work on that. Or we've dealt with some people who say, no, I want to write it myself because no one knows my business better than me. And that's actually a really good approach, assuming you have the business fundamentals. But still, that's a great approach because no one's going to know your business better than the owner. That being said, okay, so we have to draft that up. We have to do paperwork. We have to make sure you're from one of those countries that's on the list. But then the question is going to be, well, how much money do I have to invest, right? And what's tough about that answer is there's no set number, okay? Congress has not said, oh, you have to spend, if you spend $200,000, you're approved. No. What they say is that you have to invest a real amount that could be up for loss. And what I mean up for loss doesn't mean is, oh, you're going to lose it all. But you're not just having money in a bank account that at any point you can take it back and say, oh, never mind, it's safe now in my country. No, the government says, look, if you're going to invest the money, you got to put it at play. So what does that mean? Okay, depending on what sort of business you have. You can have office leases, you can buy equipment, you can buy machinery, you can have all that stuff that you bought, right? If you bought all that stuff, it's already at risk, right? You don't have control over that money anymore. It can devalue, that's at risk. But there's some jobs that you may not need that stuff, right? So there's some jobs that aren't as expensive. For example, I can't think of one right now, but there's lots of jobs. Not all jobs are within the same price range, right? So what government says is you have to show a substantial amount. So it's always going to be specific to the type of job you do. For example, back to the truckers I've been telling you we've been working with a lot. If you're going to come to the USA, I mean, some of those rigs, those 18-wheeler rigs, those are expensive, right? I mean, they can range anywhere from 100 to 300, 400,000, right? Depending on what's underneath the engine. So if you invest a sizable amount into it, that's what the government wants to see. Right? And they want to see that you've invested your money, right? And they're going to ask to see, hey, how is this your money? How do we know this is your money? And we have to show them. We have to show them it's not 3 legal ways. Oh, it's from this bank account to this bank account. Okay, I'm back, guys. Sorry, I forgot my train of thought. The amount of investment you have to put in, right? So once you put it into the business, it has to be up for losing it. And that's what the government wants to see. So they want to say, look, you put it at play, you've taken the risk of being an investor and entrepreneur. But a lot of my clients say, well, hey, Zavala, I don't want to invest $100,000, $200,000 if they haven't even approved my visa. Because what if they deny my visa and now I have all that money at play? And then the government says, well, we're not going to give you the visa until you put your money at play. So it's a tough situation, and I know. I hear you. I understand what you're saying. But what I always try to tell my clients is, look, depending on what industry, what job you're in, you are going to have to convince the government that you are starting or buying something here, right? So if most places are going to need office, you may need staff, you may, depending on if you're what industry, you may need machines, you may need cooking ware, you may need fryers, things like that. But you have to show the government that you are putting money to play. So there is no magic number. I'm sorry, I know that's a lot of people have that question, but we try to say get anywhere minimum, depending on how much the business is, we're looking at $60,000, $70,000 investment, right? One of the good things is your attorney's fees, whatever you pay us, you can add on to that amount. So that's kind of good for both of us, right? But that'll be the money that you do have to invest, right? And let's pretend worst case scenario, if they deny you, okay, you can always apply again. And if they deny you again and you've given up on this, you can liquidate your assets. Whatever it was you bought here, you can get out of it. Yes, some things you may not get full refunds, but back to the investor, entrepreneur, the risk that one runs. So let's pretend we can do all this stuff, right? We're from the right country. We have buying a job or creating a job. We've put money into it. We got a business plan. We've got all our documents. Fantastic. We're doing really well. So at that point, we put the whole packet together and we submit it to the government, right? And what the government's going to do, depending on which country you're from, you're going to get a consulate interview in your consulate. If you're here in the USA, we can do it while you're here in the USA. I recommend we do it outside the country in a consulate because it's going to be a lot faster. So let's pretend you are from country A and you work with Zavala Texas Law. We did all your paperwork, business plan, everything perfect. Submit it. You've already got your bank accounts in the USA. You're about this far away from having your business operating, right? You just need your visa approval. So then you are going to go to a consular interview. At your consulate, we'll schedule you. Different consulates have different appointment times, so that depends on every consulate. So we usually get them in though within a month, depending on where you are. That being said, you go to the consulate interview and you're going to be with a Department of State. The American consulate is around the Department of State, and you are going to have an officer who's essentially going to go through your application with you, verify your information, who are you, all your background information. Then they're going to dive into the business stuff, right? And that is your job time to shine. That is your time to explain to them, hey, this is my great idea I have. This is what I'm going to come to the USA. This is how it's going to work. This is how it's going to be profitable. This is how it's going to be great for society. This is how it's just going to be living the American dream. But remember, guys, you guys have to convince them, right? Because this officer, they see visas all sorts of days. They approve them, that they deny them. So this is your best point to try to sell your business. A lot of people say, oh, well, isn't that your job as a lawyer? Yes and no. Our job is to prepare all the paperwork, get it nice and shiny with a bow on top for you to take over. Because this is your time to shine. You could always blow an interview and ruin it, right? But this is a very important point at the consular office. So let's say you go well, everything goes great, fantastic. They will take your passport and they will issue a visa stamp. So it's like I said, not all consulates do it at the same pace, but they will keep your passport for a few days until they get the visa stamp in there, and then you can go pick it up and you're going to have your passport with your little pretty face and visa stamp in there, and now you have an E2 visa. An E2 visa now allows you to come to the USA, and boom, you get to work. You get to travel in the USA, you get to travel internationally, you get to exist in the USA, and all you have to do is keep on renewing your visa. When you renew your visa, I'm not going to say it's as hard as it is the first time, but you still have to show immigration. Hey, immigration, you guys approved me last year. This was my business plan. This is how it's updated. This is how business has looked. This is how much we made, right? Convince them. Give them an update. It's exactly that. It's a renewal. So that is kind of the review about the E2 visa, guys. I think it's a very good one. Not everyone qualifies because you have to have money, right? You have to have money and an idea or have at least access to that. But I do think it is a very good one if you have those resources, because it allows you to come to the USA and put money to work and put your brain to work, right? So I think that's a very good idea. There's a lot of people right now from a lot of countries who are just economically not doing well, so they want to come to the USA. And yeah, that's exactly why this exists, guys. So step one, make sure you're on one of those countries, right? Step two, are you going to buy or are you going to create your own? Step three, get all your ducks in line. Business plan, lawyer, all biographical information, cover letter. I mean, we're going to have to know what we're going to do here, right? Then pack it all up, go to the consulate. Best of luck, sell your business. Or sell your business to a consular. If they approve you, fantastic. Come to the USA, enjoy it, and just keep on renewing it whenever you can. This is the type of visa that you can just renew as long as everything's running. You could also bring your family on it, right? So let's say you have husband or wife or kids underage that are not adults. You come on over, right? So that's an option. So yeah, guys, I hope this video was informative to you. If you all want to call and speak more, which I would recommend, because the E2, you know, if you're going to be investing a good amount of money, there's some things we need to talk about. So please just call us on the number on the screen. Every appointment's going to be with me personally via phone. My name is Charles Zavala here at Zavala Texas Law. If there's anything you need, feel free to give us a call. And this is a good, like I said, this is a good visa, especially now where there's just a lot of global movement with entrepreneurs and investors. So consider this. Okay, thank you. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.